fellow viewers. Today I bring you this classic over here. This is the English edition, well, one of the English editions that I have of Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I hope you can see it properly here. It's a little bit used, but it's been troubling with me all around, so this is it, my beauty. Today, as is normally like a habit, we are going to talk about the book, but as a review, a non-spoilery review. In the following 2 or 3 weeks, depending on the material that I'm able to show you, probably 2 weeks, we are going to discuss about some topics and events that happen in this book. So if you're reading it and you want to actually watch those videos, which are going to be full of spoilers, I recommend you to read it first and then come and visit me. But today I'm going to do a normal review for those who don't read classics or for those who don't know the book. So to me, I am a huge fan of the Bronte sisters. I've read this one over here. I read Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre, and I also read Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I love them both. I haven't read any of Anne's stories, but I want to do it very soon. So before I get into the book, I must tell you that this book was written by Charlotte Bronte, a writer of the 19th century, whose work, at least at the beginning, was written under a synonym. That is, under another name that it was not actually hers, because in that time women could not publish as women. Like publishing world was only allowed to men. So her and her sister work under synonyms until they got certain fame, and it was allowed for them to say, hey, I am a woman, I'm Charlotte Bronte in this case. Charlotte Bronte was the only one of the three that actually enjoyed fame, because Emily, I think she died before actually seeing the book published, and Anne died short after her. So I'm not sure if Anne actually saw her book published, but as far as I know, Emily didn't, and Charlotte was the one that actually lived to see her fame, and actually she had the rights of her sister's work. Therefore, she had like the authority with the manuscripts of Wuthering Heights and Anne's other books, for example. So, going back to Jane Eyre, I must start by saying that Jane Eyre is the story of our heroine, an orphan girl whose infancy and childhood is very kind of dark and sad. It's a little bit like Cinderella kind of start, but also she goes to a girls' school that is actually very, very, very well described. It's very important in the story. This Brocklehurst school for girls, because it's the school where Jane actually sees how girls' school for orphan children, or for children who had a low income, was like. This place is very dark and also unhealthy. Therefore, she managed to survive in this school, and she becomes a actual teacher. So when she is like around 19, if I'm not mistaken, she needs a change in her life. So she accepts a position as a kind of tutor for, it's not tutor the proper, as a governess, that's the word I was looking for a little girl in a house, in a kind of estate called Thornfield. So she comes from a very dark place to a different, strange, dark place that is Thornfield. And she meets Rochester. Rochester is the owner of this house. He has a weird temper, but he hides secrets. And Thornfield Hall, which is the house, hides more secrets than it seems. After that weird summary, I must say that I read this story twice. Originally, I read it when I was 14 years old in my mother tongue in Spanish, so I read a translated edition. And then I read this version in English now as an adult. I love it more than when I read it as a child, because there were some things as a teenager that I wasn't sure, or ideas that I actually misread. I must say that there are three key points in this story for me. This is my personal reading, my personal experience with the book. So if you have differences in what I'm going to remark, let me know with being polite. So to me, the most important element is the idea of women, and women as independent human beings. Through the whole book, Jane doesn't stand injustice and doesn't follow the rules as they are marked. First, for her, through the restrictions of her aunt, like she's not following her aunt's wishes, and she considers herself a human being and she fights for those rights. Then in Brocklehurst institution, she defends those who are mistreated, and even when she is corrected by teachers and even her own friend Helen, she questions everything. When she arrives to Thornfield and she meets Rochester, she doesn't act with him to please him. She asks and questions things as the way she thinks them. She doesn't behave as a subordinate of Rochester, in a sense that she doesn't believe that actually things have to be agreed only because he thinks they are correct. She's able to contradict her master or her boss in this case when she thinks it's not correct, because to me Jane has more moral values and a high moral compass, which is the one that dictates or she uses as a guide through the whole novel. This is important because she's always fighting for what is right, and she's fighting because of what she believes, even though other people may consider it wrong, even though she considers that what she's doing is risky, she does it anyway because it's what she believes. And in a period of time where women were told what to do and how to behave, first by the family and then by the husband, is really important as a classic. Again, to me, this is a story about women. This is a story about women's rights. That's, for me, it's a feminist novel. But this has to be taken with care. To me, it's a feminist story, by using the standards of the time. We cannot consider it a feminist story now. We have to play with the context. Another element I love, the second element I love, it's the house. The house plays a part in this story as one of the characters. Brocklehurst institution, for instance, or I think it's called Gateshead, where her Jane's aunt lives. There are places of reclusion. There are places of dark, unhealthy relationship, either with the aunt or with the priest and the school and the teacher. Thornfield, on the other hand, is a place for ghosts. It's a place for secrets, and it's a place for double meanings. It's a place where things don't seem like they look in the first place. And it's very interesting how the houses change, because originally Thornfield is thought by Jane as a kind of dark, gloomy place. And then as her relationship with Rochester grows, the house becomes a safe haven, a place where she is considered. You see, the houses have different meanings in the story, and we all see those meanings and those interpretations through Jane's eyes. These are my thoughts on Jane Eyre. However, I will do a couple of spoilery videos, probably, or 3, depending on how much material I find. I want to talk about feminism in Jane Eyre. I want to talk about Rochester and Jane's dynamic in terms of feminism and equality. I want to talk about the idea of the haunted house. I want to talk about the roots in fairy tales that are related to Jane Eyre. And probably I will discuss the different film versions I've watched of this beautiful book. I want to discuss how it was done. In my opinion, I am not an expert, but I hope you enjoy those videos too. So don't miss the couple of weeks that are coming ahead, because it might be interesting. Also, I must say, if you're new to this channel and you haven't watched any of my videos, subscribe and give me a like, and you can leave me a comment if you want to, so we can discuss a little bit more about our dear Jane. But in this case, the following videos are going to be spoilery, so if you haven't read the book, or if you're reading it right now, I recommend you to finish the book and then come to see the videos I'm going to post from next week onwards related to Jane Eyre. I don't want to spoil the fun for you. This is it. I hope you enjoy the video and you come to see me next week. Goodbye.